awful rampage killings that happened outside the U.S. While America often dominates the headlines with shocking tales of rampage killings, it's a grim truth that no country is immune to the horrors of mass violence. From schools to train stations, from ancient towns to modern cities, the dark shadows of brutality have left their mark across the globe. Welcome to Creepshow, where today we take you on a journey through 10 of the most chilling rampage killings that happened outside of the United States. These horrific events remind us that the capacity for violence knows no borders. Viewer discretion advised. Number 10. The Azerbaijan State Oil Academy shooting. Azerbaijan rarely makes worldwide headlines. It frequently coincides with the long-running conflict over Nagorno-Karabakh, which Azerbaijan and Armenia claim. Azerbaijan made headlines in 2009 for a school shooting. A gunman killed 12 and wounded 13 at the Azerbaijan State Oil Academy in Baku on April 30, 2009. The 28-year-old gunman, Farda Gidyrov, used a Soviet-made Makarov pistol to shoot from the first to the sixth floors before 9 a.m. A security guard and cleaner died first. Gidyrov then targeted students, including 2 Syrian and Sudanese students. Azeri authorities later called Gideroy a lone wolf who had discussed a mass strike. "I will shoot everyone I meet in Baku, regardless of age. I won't surrender to police. I will enjoy killing," the gunman texted before the massacre. Gideroy committed suicide as special forces arrested him. Despite the killer's confession and corpse in the college, some Azeri reporters denied a layman could be so deadly with just a pistol. Mardun Gumashian, an ethnically Armenian citizen in Marneuli, Georgia, was accused of arranging the massacre as a terrorist act. He and 3 others were imprisoned, which Armenia criticized as politically motivated. Number 9. Dunblane Massacre. The March 13, 1996 mass shooting in Britain was arguably the worst. On that terrible day, a maniac attacked Dunblane, Scotland. Thomas Hamilton, armed with 4 handguns and 743 bullets, targeted children at a local elementary school. The attack started about 9:30 a.m. Hamilton entered Dunblane Primary School's parking lot and cut nearby telephone cables. Hamilton then shot teacher Gwen Mayer, wounded Eileen Harold and Mary Blake, and then shot through the gym and library. Hamilton committed suicide after the 5-minute shooting, which killed 17 people. No motive for the crime has been disclosed. Hamilton's obsession with young lads was a warning sign. Before the incident, Hamilton was well known as Mr. Creepy, a Fat Boy Scouts assistant leader. Hamilton was accused of suspicious behavior in the 1970s, moral intentions towards boys. Hamilton blamed this accusation for his failure to become a scout leader and the cancellation of his Dunblane High School club meetings. The Cullen reports, produced by the British government after the shooting, advocated banning all handguns. Therefore, the Dunblane Massacre is frequently considered the event that changed UK gun restrictions forever. Most handguns were banned. Number 8. Kunming Knife Attack. One of the worst mass knife attacks in Chinese history occurred on March 1st, 2014. Many black-clad men descended on Kunming railway station in Yunnan province about 9:20 p.m. The men randomly slashed, stabbed, and hacked railway passengers with knives and butcher cleavers. Chinese police only restored order by shooting gunshots and tear gas into the station, killing 31 people, 7 police officers and 2 trained security guards, and injuring 143. A criminal inquiry found 8 ethnic Uyghurs committed the attack. Police shot and killed 4 guys at the spot. In September 2014, Patigul Toti, Iskandar Yehed, and Torgun Totanyas and Hossein Mohammed were found guilty of planning and organizing the assault. After this tragic attack, Beijing committed to crack down on Islamist terrorism. Since many ethnic Uyghurs have fought alongside Islamist forces in Iraq and Syria, this pledge may be tested in the coming years. One Uyghur faction declared war on China with Turkish army aid in Syria. Number 7. Ernst August Wagner. Before television and the internet, a German madman killed 14 and injured 11 with firearms. Ernst August Wagner, the maniac, was born in 1874. Wagner was from a poor Eglosheim family. Wagner's father died of TB while Ernst was young, worsening the family's difficulties. Ernst made something despite his depression. By 1901, he taught. Wagner's promising future ended in 1902 when he was arrested for bestiality. The people of Mulhausen oder Ernst never forgot Wagner's drunken ignorance, which enraged the unstable man. Wagner was married to Anna Friedrich Schindt, whom he had conceived before the wedding, and had several children by 1909. Wagner attempted suicide twice despite this. Wagner woke up on September 4, 1913, and killed his wife and children with a bludgeon and knife. Wagner then bicycled to the train station, bought a few quarts of milk, and had beer with his sister-in-law. Wagner returned to Mulhausen at 11 p.m. and burned 4 homes and shot everyone he saw with 2 Mauser firearms. This shooting spree ended when Wagner was subdued. Wagner earned a warped fame in pre-war Germany. Wagner fulfilled his long-time passion of writing plays at a Wienerthal lunatic asylum after being ruled not guilty by reason of insanity. Number 6. Nanping School Massacre. One insane man killed 8 experimental school students in Nanping City, Fujian Province. The attack began at 7:20 a.m. March 23, 2010. Attacks occurred near the school's doors because lessons hadn't started yet. 6 of the 8 stabbing victims died at the spot and 2 at a local hospital. Most of the 4 boys and 4 girls slain in the attack were under 10. Former community doctor Zhang Minsheng was the perpetrator. Zhang was a community doctor from 2002 to 2009 before resigning for personal reasons. Some reports indicated he was sacked. Chinese media cited Zhang's mental disorder. Chinese authorities reported Zhang had said his life was meaningless. 20 days after his attack, Zhang, 41, was shot and killed. Number 5. The Zug Massacre. A horrifying mass shooting occurred in Switzerland days after the September 11th terrorist attack in New York City and Washington, D.C. A gunman entered the Zug Canton Parliament on September 27, 2001, shot 14 MPs, injured 18, and killed himself. The gunman defied stereotypes. Friedrich Liebacher was older than most mass killers. The shooting occurred when he was 57. However, like many assassins, Liebacher had a terrible past and profound mental illness. Liebacher did not work and was divorced for years. His marriages were predominantly Dominican. He had a child. Liebacher served 18 months in prison for stealing, forgery, and incest in 1970. After repeated post-prison business failures, Liebacher became enraged by the authorities. Liebacher's 1998 arrest for threatening a bus driver led to a legal conflict with Zug, which drove him over the brink. Legal issues and a personality disorder convinced Liebacher of a government plot, so he utilized 3 firearms and a homemade bomb for his day of rage against the Zug Mafia. Number 4. Hungerford Massacre. The afternoon of August 19, 1987 will always be remembered in Hungerford, England. In that horrible day, 16 individuals were shot and 15 injured. Many call the Hungerford Massacre the tragedy, one of the deadliest mass murders in British history. Michael Robert Ryan, 27, an unemployed antiques worker, committed the bloodshed. Ryan grew up lonely in Hungerford's South View. Ryan was a poor student and college dropout who was best at being a mama's boy. Ryan's mother was overly generous, giving him a car and loads of weaponry. Ryan was considered harmless, yet odd for most of his life. He was famous for lying about being married or a British Army paratrooper. Ryan shot 35-year-old mother Susan Godfrey 13 times in the back at Savernake Forest, starting the Rampage. Godfrey's 2 children told a passerby that Ryan had taken their mother into the bushes at 12:30 p.m., alerting the authorities. Ryan returned home. The gunman shot his unstarted automobile around 12:45 p.m. Ryan burned his house, too. Later, authorities found Ryan's mother's body inside. Ryan then opened fire on anyone he saw walking in Hungerford or walking to their garden until 6:20 p.m. His victims ranged from 14-year-old Lisa Mildenhall to 84-year-old men. Ryan committed suicide after barricading himself at John O'Gaunt Community Technical College. Ryan reportedly told police negotiators, "Hungerford must be a bit of a mess," before shooting. "Wish I'd stayed in bed." Number 3. Kerch Polytechnic College Massacre. Crimea is Europe's crown treasure. Crimea, a lovely and ancient peninsula with ties to pre-democratic Greece, is where Russians and Ukrainians who claim it vacation. In October 2018, Crimea lost credibility. Vladislav Roslyakov, 18, attended Kerch Polytechnic College with a mini arsenal on October 17, 2018. The murderer used a legally acquired Hudson Escort Aimguard shotgun and homemade nail and pipe explosives. Roslyakov shot students and teachers around 11:35 a.m. after entering school. This gunfire and his homemade nail bomb killed 20 and injured 70. The gunman committed suicide. The gunman obtained a gun license in September 2018 and bought the shotgun and 150 rounds of ammo before the incident, according to an inquiry. Additional explosives were found in the gunman's mother's home. Roslyakov's motives are unknown. Evidence suggests Roslyakov loathed the school and teachers. The school has disciplined him before. Roslyakov once took a bayonet-type knife to class and once sprayed pepper spray into a packed classroom. Security camera evidence shows Roslyakov was motivated by the Columbine school shooting because he donned an outfit identical to Eric Harris's. Number 2. William Unek. Most rampage killers strike once, usually because their rampages end in suicides. This was not true of William Unek, one of history's only 2 mass murderers. Unek worked as a policeman in the Belgian Congo by 1954, although his background is unknown. Unek took an axe and killed 21 strangers in Mahagi that year. Rather than commit suicide or surrender to his fellow police officers, he fled into the forest into the British Tanganyika territory. Unek lived under a pseudonym in British colony Tanzania for 3 years. Unek then grabbed a gun, 50 rounds, and an axe on February 11, 1957. Unek shot 10 men, 8 women, and 8 children in 12 hours. 5 more victims were killed with an axe. 1 was stabbed, 1 was strangled, and 2 women and a child were burned alive after Unek set their houses on fire. An African officer named Iyumbu and a police supervisor fatally wounded Unek with a smoke bomb that mistakenly started a fire. Number 1. The Shijiazhuang Bombings. Shijiazhuang exploded several bombs at 4 a.m. on March 16, 2001. The Chinese government later claimed the bomber took a taxi to his targets. Jin, a deaf, unemployed worker, committed China's biggest mass murder. Jin destroyed 4 apartment towers with 10 stacks of explosives, killing 108 people. 10 days after the attack, the government-run newspaper, People's Daily, reported that Jin, 41, carried out the massive attack because he hated his ex-wife, ex-mother-in-law, and a former lover. One of the targeted apartment buildings was owned by Jin's mother. Jin's problems began in 1988 when he was imprisoned for 10 years for rape. Jin liked making homemade explosives before that. Many Shijiazhuang people questioned if a marginally educated individual could carry out 4 explosions practically simultaneously, despite such circumstantial evidence. Just 3 months after his horrific crime, Jin Ruchao was executed. The stories we've shared today serve as a stark reminder that evil can strike anywhere, anytime. Though these tragic events occurred far from the American headlines, their impacts are no less devastating. If you're interested in more unsettling stories from the darker side of history, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Creepshow. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a tale from the shadows. Stay safe out there. You never know what lurks in the darkness.